Hello, everyone. This is Murat from Istanbul. Thanks for joining us tonight. How are you? You, your family members, your friends, your colleagues. I hope you are all okay. We are having COVID-19 and everything is changing. The way we work, the way we socialize, the way we think, everything is changing. So I think the only thing will never change. 2020 will be the worst year ever of our lives. So, for the ones who don't know me, let me make a short introduction. After 20 years corporate life, I became an entrepreneur. I'm mainly doing three things. I sell online courses, I'm giving consultancy about digital transformation, and I am doing live streams like this. And I also founded a new community. It is a subscription-based model, and the name of this model is Ready for Change. And we are doing special webinars to our members every Thursday night. So I mainly do live streams about e-commerce, online shopping, marketing, and that kind of things. And it's the first time we are going to do a webinar with a foreign people. And the reason I started for Hello is, especially after COVID-19, we focus on our lives, we close the doors, and we don't see any people. And I just wanted to see different people from different regions. And I think we are missing some international perspective. So I thought that it would be nice to invite different people from different countries and talk about nice topics. Tonight, Virginia Molet will be our guest. She's an executive coach. She's Spanish, but she's from Spain, but she lives in Zurich. And tonight, she's going to talk about personal branding. At this moment, we are doing this live stream from YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, Periscope, and Facebook at the same time. So I don't know where you are watching this live stream. With whom are you watching? I don't know, but I just know that we are going to have a great 1 hour with Virginia and talk about lots of things about personal branding. So if you are ready, if you have your tea and coffee, please join us. We are starting in 15 seconds. Please don't go. Hello, Virginia.
Hello, Murat.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
It's so
Thank
nice to
you.
see you. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the first program of Hello, and you are our first guest. We will never forget you. So you are in Madrid right now?
Yes. Thank you
Good.
very much for inviting me to your first Hello program.
Yeah,
I
sure,
feel
sure.
honored. Yeah. And yes,
Sure.
I'm in Madrid. I'm based in Zurich, but I have a sister who is giving birth in a couple of weeks, and I
Ah,
came a few days to help out.
so, how is life? I mean, when you see, we are having very strange days because of the COVID-19. So, when you look at Madrid, when you look Zurich, what do you see? For example, in Turkey, from today, it is 9 p.m. And now we can't go out till 5 a.m. If you are not a doctor, you can go out. And at weekend time on Saturday and Sunday, we have to stay at home because about the social distancing, the government wanted people to stay at home in order not to have, because the number of the COVID cases are increasing day by day. How
Yes.
is Zurich? How is Madrid? What do you see? What is your opinion?
So we are going through the same challenging time
Yeah.
everywhere. In Zurich, I think we had a late start. So the
Mhm.
first wave was really, really mild compared to Spain.
Mhm.
But we now we are having very similar restrictions all
Yeah.
across Europe.
Mhm.
In Spain, the situation is a bit worse. They change they change the restrictions every day,
Mhm.
and in Spain now they differentiate the districts. So you
Okay.
have some rules in one district. Even now I'm in Madrid, but even in Madrid there are different rules depending on the
Interesting.
district where you are.
Interesting. The
Yes.
schools are closed, by the way. Do you know?
No, the schools are open.
Okay.
Are
Okay.
open. Yes, in both countries
It's
actually.
interesting. In
Yes.
Turkey, they closed because there are the population of Turkey is 83 million, and most of them the young population. As far as I know, 20 million. I guess if I'm wrong, please update me, my friends. 20 million kids are going to school, including universities. So they close, they do online, and it is interesting because in at EF when we were working at 2005, they started to sell online English courses, and 15 years ago. And when we say in Turkey, in Istanbul office, hey guys, I mean, you can teach, you can learn English via computer online. They were saying, oh, how can it be? And now everybody doing courses at everything. I mean, not only English on online. It's interesting.
Of
So
course, that's
anyway, I
changing.
think the of course, yeah. I mean, I hope we are going to talk about better days, better things in the future. So let's
I'm
start
sure we
about
will.
your yeah. What do you do? And if you want, I can share your screen if you want, if it's ready.
Yes, sure.
Yeah,
So I'm going to talk about personal branding,
yeah,
Murat. But
yeah. Please,
first I would like to tell you a short story. So
please.
in 1991, my dad started a new business, a real estate business in Madrid. He had been successful in the past, but he had a very, very tough start. He had no clients, zero customers, no visits to the office, not whatsoever. So he asked around who was good at this. And someone told him that Americans were really good at selling property. So he could not speak a word of English, but he
Really?
traveled, not a word. I'm telling
Okay,
1999, this is 20 years ago,
okay.
and he was 45 at that time. But he booked a flight, traveled to Las Vegas, and
Hmm.
in Las Vegas he joined the biggest real estate convention worldwide. So when he came back from that trip, he he told everyone, okay, now it's very easy. I know how to attract customers. I have the solution. So we were like, okay. I was working with him at that time, and he said, you just need to build trust. So his interpretation of building trust, eh, this is him in 1995. And during these 20 years, he has been, so he started putting his face on the business cards, asked his team to put the face on the business cards. In all the to sell, sold, sale signs, his face was on it, his name, he was on the TV ads, radio. He wrote a book, of course, with his face on it. Uh, so it was a lot about personal branding, and he was very successful. He had clients coming to the office. He was unstoppable, and he has based his marketing and everything on this. So this was 20 years ago.
Just a
Things
quick question. Sorry for
yes,
disturbing.
no,
I think sometimes we are not professionals, we are amateurs, and sometimes when we are going to make an ad on Instagram or whatever, sometimes I'm thinking whether I should put a picture of someone or myself or an image. I think putting a real man or real woman, real face is very important as far as I understand for the personal branding or whatever you do. Am I right? because your father did like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he follow the, in the States, they tend to have this behavior in real
Yeah.
estate at that time. He followed that. Nobody did that in Spain at that time, and
Mm.
and it worked, and now he's not paying for the TV ads because the media, the press, the TVs, the radios, they call him as an expert in the field. So he's so well known that he doesn't need to go and to pay for that marketing anymore, because
Yeah.
he's got the media coming to him. So I think it's yes, we really need to stop being shy about showing ourselves, and we will look at it during the webinar.
Okay.
So as I said, 20 years have gone by,
Yes.
and this is an image of a conference that I attended a bit more than a year ago. This is a personal branding and LinkedIn guru, Chris Reed,
Mm-hmm.
and he is based in Singapore, but he flew to the company where we work together in EF, and he presented and he talked about personal branding. So when he asked the audience, he said, "Okay, what are you doing for your personal brand? How are you actively working on your personal brand?" I realized I was not so good at it. I was like you. I had 10 years of background in an international company. I really felt I didn't need that. Yeah. And and I was a bit ashamed when he asked that. But then he started to talk about this concept, about building trust. And that's something that I really knew about. Mm.
I think this is the common mistake people are always doing. But what I mean is, when we are working in corporate life, we always think that we are going to work at that company or in corporate life till the end of our lives. But you never know. I became an entrepreneur at the age of 40, and uh, my aim is to climb the career levels up to the level that I can go. And after I achieved my target, I said, okay, and this is it. Being a CEO of a company, and I got bored, and I became an entrepreneur because something is burning in my side. So, but if I didn't, let's say, spend some time on the personal branding and learn how to do it a little, I will be facing lots of difficulties. Of course, it took time after I got an entrepreneur, but I think the biggest mistake is that, I mean, we should always, whether we are working in corporate life or we are an entrepreneur, we should invest on ourselves about personal branding. I think you are the expert.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you are so right, and you are a great example. And if we look at your example, Murat, you took that decision. You had that thing burning inside.
Yeah,
You wanted to be an entrepreneur. But just think in all the
yeah,
fields that have been affected now by COVID-19, and so many things have happened, so many changes
yeah.
have happened in the companies, and so many unexpected moves, and we need to be ready. We need to be ready. So with a strong personal brand, we will be ready for that. Absolutely. And
True, true.
if I can continue sharing my presentation. Yes.
Yep. Uh-huh.
I'll tell you a bit about myself. I have 15 years of experience in sales and business development. I started with my father in real estate in Madrid,
Ah,
and then I have 10 years of experience at the world's largest private education company. My last role, I was a recruitment and employee development director, and that role released my passion for learning and helping others on their personal development and personal and professional development. So I studied to be an executive coach. I'm PD of the Association of Executive Coaching. And my goal is to help people bring 100% to work. From the personal side, you already mentioned, I am Spanish. I live in Switzerland. I've lived in 5 countries, regularly worked with people from over 50 nationalities. And well, I have 3 kids.
Ah, good. How old are
So
they?
I have, it's going to be 10, 7, and a 3-year-old.
Boy, girl.
It's a princess sandwich, boy, girl, boy. Mm.
Okay, good.
So this is what we are going to discuss today.
Mhm.
And I know all your programs are super interactive. I would like to invite the audience to interrupt us and ask as many questions as they feel. Um, we will check and we will look at these points. What is personal branding? Why is personal branding important? How to create your own personal brand. We will talk about the content. LinkedIn, why LinkedIn is the best platform to work on your personal brand, and then the importance of test, change, and repetition.
And by the way, there are some people watching us from Miami. Ruby is watching us from Miami. It's nice. And the first question came on the screen. Now, Bora is asking, does personal branding concept change according to the country we live in? You said that you live in 5 countries, you work with 50 different nationalities. So what do you think? Does it change? Whether you live in Turkey, you live in Switzerland, you live in Spain, what do you think?
I lived in Asia.
Asia,
So
where?
I lived in Hong Kong and in Shanghai.
Oh,
Yes, yes,
ah,
a year and a half in Hong Kong and a year and a half in Shanghai. But I think the concept is the same, but people have a different approach to personal branding. So I would say there are nationalities that enjoy or are more less shy, let's say. I know in Switzerland they are very modest and they don't like to, so they find it a bit aggressive, too much of a face, let's say.
mm,
And I know the Asians are also quite more shy, but that the concept is the same and the rules are the same, and it is about building trust, engagement, and many other things that we will look at now.
okay, good. Yeah.
Yes, are you sharing mine? Yes.
Yep, it's open.
So first, the concept, as our friend was asking. So what is the concept? What is personal branding? So personal branding is what people say about you when you are not in the room. So whether you are working on it or whether or not, you already have one. So it's up to you, and it depends on you if you want to be the driver of that concept or if you want others to work on it for you. Mm. Is what people immediately think of you when they hear your name, and is how
Hmm.
you present yourself, and not only to your potential employers, but to your friends, to your to the people who you don't know, to everyone. Mm. And it's not only online, you
Hmm.
also have a personal brand offline. We will be focusing on the online part here, but of course we all have a personal brand,
It is
also.
like, how do they perceive? I mean, you think that you are a very nice or smart guy, but people think that you are aggressive. So it means that there is something wrong. I mean, you think that you are very smart, but people think that you are aggressive. So there is a problem. So it is. That's why we always say to people that that is not what you think. That is how what people are thinking about you. That's very important.
Exactly,
But
exactly, exactly. Because if there is something that we are not good at, is about identifying what the others think of ourselves. Mhm. And that's a coaching concept.
Mhm.
So that's the concept, and it doesn't change in, in the different countries. And it's about social selling. So because of social media, the social selling is the most, it's a basic concept to sell our personal brand.
Mhm.
So it's about engaging, it's about relationships, like deep relationships, with substance. And
Mhm.
if I ask our audience, our friends, how many followers do they think that, probably they know this guy, he's the owner of Virgin Airlines, Richard
Yeah,
Branson.
Branson. Yeah.
And if I ask them how many followers do they think he has on LinkedIn, and how many
Mhm.
followers do they think Virgin Airlines has on link? Take
Yes,
a
the
guess.
question. The
Take a
question
guess.
is very simple, my friends. Please, could you please tell us what is the number that the Richard Branson's follower number and the Virgin Airlines follower number? What do you think? 100,000, 1 million, 30 million, or which one is more? Richard Branson follower or the company's follower? Just guess. You can say one or two. If you think that Richard has more followers, you can say simply write one to the comment. If you think that Virgin is having more followers, you can say two. If you think if you don't have any information, if you don't have any answer to this question, you can continue listening. And as far as I see, nobody has an opinion. Let me say, is it Virgin?
No. So
No.
Richard
Oh,
Branson, Richard Branson has 17 million followers on LinkedIn,
17. Wow.
and his company has 200,000. That means that people
Hmm.
buy into people. So he is selling his company's services and products through his own personal brand. People is interested in him. They are not so interested in the company. eh? So personal branding is about promoting a promotion of your personal brand through social media, and it's about selling you. mm.
Sure.
So you need to market yourself and your career as a brand, and for people to be interested to in starting a relationship with you, they must see you as a whole person. They must see your values, what you stand for. They must literally see your style. Yeah, that's unique, that's personal. Your thought leadership. So what are your opinions on the relevant issues? And also, where can they find you? What's your platform? So if I ask you, Murat, what's your platform?
My platform is LinkedIn.
Is LinkedIn. My platform is LinkedIn too.
By the
I
way,
think
you put my logo, me. You know,
yes,
you know,
yes.
you know my story. I have a company named in Turkish. When you found a company, you go to an accountant, and they always like do like this: your name and surname. My name Murat Erdör, and then what you are going to do? Consultancy. In Turkish, we say danışmanlık. Murat Erdör Danışmanlık Limited şirketi. It's a very long name, and it doesn't hear very smart. And after I started my company, people were asking what is the name of your company, and I was saying Murat Erdör Danışmanlık this, and people are looking like this strange. And I said something is strange, so I changed it. Okay, I took M from Murat, I took E from my surname Erdör. Me is good, and people loves English in Turkey. So I said, okay, danışmanlık is consultancy, me consultancy. Now and I've made a very smart logo. And now when I say, okay, I'm from Me Consultancy, oh, amazing! I know this company. How do you know? It has only been 4 years. So, but it takes people's attention, so it's nice. Me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why we put it. So, so, so exactly. That's it is the me, the person they need to know, and the more developed these concepts are, the more as a whole person you'll come across, and the more they will be likely, they will be more interested in contacting you, and in approaching you. So it's important that you develop these four concepts.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it important? The benefits. Well, you will have more opportunities. Your network will increase. It will help you with your personal growth and your reputation. So more opportunities, because when you know people and they know you, it is easier to ask for help, and you will be more open to help them too. And that will open a world of opportunities. Your network will increase exponentially. We will talk about that later, and your experience as well, Murat.
Mm-hmm.
Personal growth, because you need to put content out there. You want to be perceived as a competent professional, and then you
Opinion
need to,
leader.
exactly, you need to think, what do you want to be, what is your point of view on that specific topic, what do you want to be perceived for, what are your values, and that reflection is going to help you personally and professionally. And then the reputation. Because as you said, Murad, we never know what can happen. So things happen, changes happen, and you might change position, you might change companies, and you might change fields. But your
Yeah.
personal brand will always go with you. So reputation is very important. It's not just a name or a logo, it's the collection of perceptions in the mind of the customer. So if we think in Starbucks, for example, it's the key differentiator in the market. Yeah?
Yeah. And the reputation, I think, for example, if you do your own job, for example,
Yes?
when you work when you work at a corporate company, it's easy because Murat from EF. Okay, I mean it is important, but I mean from EF is very. I mean it's very important because he's coming. Murat is coming. Virginia is coming. Go XYZ. But when you go yourself, I mean when you have your own company, it is getting more and more and more important because reputation. People, if people are going to do work with you, if it's Murat from EF, if they don't trust you, it is okay. It's not good, but they can find another guy from EF because the main object is the main company is EF there or whatever. But if you have your own company, of if you are going to sell something, for example, I am selling online courses or I am selling this, that. If you don't have a good reputation, if people has a if you don't if you are not an opinion leader, so people doesn't come to you. I
Mm,
am experiencing it right now. Sometimes being an entrepreneur at the age of 25 is good. People think like that, but I think being an entrepreneur at the age of 40 is not the best thing, but it is good because you have lots of networking.
mm,
Plus, if you have a reputation, because after 15, 20 years of corporate life, you have something in people's mind. So it makes it easier to grow and go fast. Because
mm,
if you are 25 years old and did nothing, people doesn't know about you. I mean, that you don't have any reputation. That's why
mm.
it's also important. It's very important, the reputation.
It's very important, not only for entrepreneurs,
Sure,
also
sure.
when you are in the corporate world. If I ask you, or I ask our listeners,
Yeah,
what percentage, just to make the reflection, they don't need to answer, but what's the percentage of the jobs they had in their lives, and how many of them did they get it through through networking, through a
yeah.
contact, through a friend, through a friend of a friend, through a family member? In my case, it's very high.
Really?
And when I ask this question, I get the same answer. It has been very, very important. Networking and your contacts is very important also for the corporate world.
Sure, sure.
So let me continue.
Yep, I'll put that one.
Yes, as I was saying, not only for entrepreneurs or job seekers, it's also for those who work at a company. Eh? So if you think, I'm thinking now in Leo Messi, for example. So
Mhm.
during his time in Barcelona, he had an enormous personal, very, very strong personal brand. So what do you think? Did that brand help Barcelona Football Club? Obviously,
Mm.
it
Yes,
helps. So a strong personal brand
sure.
from an employee of any company, it can only help the company, the visibility of the company, the credibility of the organization, and the engagement level. And if you work or have work, all the companies have someone who works in talent acquisition. So it means recruitment. You
Mm.
look for people. And with personal branding, selling yourself and how happy you are in that company, you are also selling that company. And it
Sure,
helps
sure.
with talent acquisition as well. Mm. So engage, don't
Yeah.
just watch. Mm. In
What
in
are these
LinkedIn,
numbers?
sorry,
What, what are these numbers? One, nine, two,
one
nine,
nine
two.
ninety. This is a
Okay.
very 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 important
Mhm.
concept in all social medias.
Okay.
In but I'll talk about LinkedIn because it's the one that I am more familiar with.
Yeah.
And we have 600 million users in LinkedIn. Yeah. And these numbers, what they mean is that 90% of the users in LinkedIn, they just watch.
Hmm.
They don't do anything. They are silent viewers. They just look and they just watch. Hmm?
Huge,
Then
huge number.
it's a
90%.
huge number. It's a huge number. It's a huge number. I know. And then 9%, eh,
Mm-hmm.
9% interact with each other. They like, they make a comment, they congratulate, they thank. Hmm? And then 1% are those who are posting original content. So the key for success in social selling, as you know well, Murat, is to to create your own personal content.
Yeah.
eh, Engage with the 9%. It's about engaging, engaging, and engaging to disseminate and expand your information to the 90%. Because the 90%, you don't know them. They don't do anything. They do nothing. So you need the 9% to distribute your content. And through your content, you will be selling your personal brand, you will be selling your information, you will be entertaining them, helping the users and the audience, and they will get a positive impression of you.
It's interesting numbers. I mean, I have never heard of these numbers. 1% is very active. It's interesting.
It's very
I thought that most of the people were active, but no.
no, 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 no. It's a very important number because when you are part of that 1% and you post regularly, you are you are entertaining and informing the 90% through the 9%. And the key is to be part of that 1%. Mhm. And we'll talk a little bit about that. And this happens in all social media.
Sure.
So if we now talk about how to create your personal brand, I'm going to explain here 4 steps, very simple, mm, and um, to follow, but
Okay.
then but then not so. You need to know how to maintain that. eh.
Mhm.
So you need to uncover your uniqueness. That's step number 1. Create your unique personal brand. Communicate, have a consistent message, and use
Mhm.
the platforms to communicate the message, and maintain your brand, which is the most difficult one, the hardest one. So let's look at it. Let's look at these steps one by one. Uncover your uniqueness. you need to be authentic. So
Hmm.
authenticity is key to social success. You need to be genuine, and you need to know what makes you different to everyone else. So why are you different? What is your uniqueness? And it is your personality. So you need to show your personality, and showing the real you, it will make it easier for you to build on that in the future. So personal branding is never about pretending, never, because people differentiate very fast when you are
Hmm.
pretending versus when you are being authentic.
Cool.
Mm.
It's important. Yeah.
It's very important. Then, how do you create your unique brand? You need, so when we talk about content, if you are not telling a story, if you are not telling your story, you are already losing half of your audience and your interest. People is interested in stories, in your storytelling. What are, how what is your progress? What are you learning? What are your steps? Mm. Then the irresistible formula. This means this is very easy. It's what you love to do, what you do best, plus what the audience wants most. So with these three things, they are they you will be in the pathway of success. Mhm.
It
And then
is
yes, tell me.
in the recent years. I mean, the storytelling is getting very important. I mean, and people should know how to. Everybody has a story, but people doesn't know how to tell or how to give some examples. So it is very important the storytelling, not only about yourself. I mean, the way you do jobs, you sell some products. If you use storytelling techniques, it works. I tried it, and it's really working. And sometimes I'm talking to the walls, empty walls. I mean, to make the practice. And sometimes, if I'm going to make a joke, I'm also studying on that one. Where, how, and we are also looking at the engagement. You told about engagement. It is very important. Sometimes 100 people or maybe 200 people are joining these live streams, but you have one or two comments. But sometimes 10 people are joining, but there are 40 comments or questions or likes. So that's very important. The engagement is very, very important. By the way, there is another question from our lovely friend Bora. He is asking, is there a specific or original technique you discovered in the pandemic in the last 1 year?
To discover, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think is there a specific technique? I mean, maybe about something about personal branding, because we are all close in home, and we are not joining the networking parties. We are not active. I mean, because of the COVID. So, is there a special way to continue to develop our personal branding? I think, as far as I understand, he is asking that question, because how can
Ah,
we do? What can we do in this pandemic time?
um, so in regards personal branding is everything that we are discussing now, but storytelling is I have learned a lot about storytelling just being at home and seeing more content and looking at what other people is telling, because people remember the stories. They don't remember they don't remember someone who has sold something or the product, or but the story gets in your mind and stays in your mind. So I think I have learned and improved a lot on my storytelling and the storytelling of others. Yes.
And I think in this COVID-19 days, people are using more online. I mean, like Zoom, like the StreamYard, like some live sessions, or LinkedIn, to have a sustainable brand, personal branding. I think LinkedIn and YouTube are the first major parts, as far as I see. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
And the content,
totally.
content. I mean, we are always talking about content. We have been talking about content marketing. I'm also working with some e-commerce companies, and I also always tell them, you all sell the same products. I mean, you are selling this one, okay, this sweatshirt. Of course, the techniques, the words, or the fabric is different, and the colors are different. But at the end, it's a sweatshirt, whatever, and the price is different. But I always tell them, please write a story. Please produce a content, nice content, which will get people's attention. Because if I'm going to buy this one, you look at the picture and you look at the words, the content. So we were telling them content is the king, content is the king. And I don't know Spanish people, I don't know the Swedish people, but I know Turkish people well. They didn't care about the content, and they said, okay, content is, I mean, not important. Now, right now, people are giving more importance to content. Content is the king.
Yes, absolutely. And I think people is exploring more, and we are all getting better.
Yeah,
And as we saw, with people buy into people, people are interested in the stories of the individuals. So we saw the example of Richard Branson. They
yeah,
they they buy their products through his personal brand. They are not interested in companies. They are interested in his story. And
yeah,
if you've seen his posts are professional but are also very personal. And he talks about his marathons and his sporty life, and it is a business content, but that's what people also want to hear, the personal side. Mm.
sure.
So let's continue. Content
Yeah,
strategy.
uh-huh.
We talked about this,
Yep,
and we need to communicate the brand with a consistent message, timeline with a strategy. So, how many posts per week would you like to do you need to share
good.
to get that awareness?
Frequency.
Frequency. So, what is your strategy? What is the frequency? So we should have a strategy. Every one of us should have a strategy, in terms of posting original content. Use pictures and videos, because
Hmm.
that's, as we said, it's personal. It's in a professional content, but it's your original content. It's about you. It's very unique. Automate with buffer.com, for example. So you don't have
Uh-huh.
to spend that much time and energy. You can just sit down and maybe work on your five posts or five communications for the week or for the next 2 weeks, and then you do your calendar, your structure, and then you say, okay, I want to do. It is a free tool, and you can say every 2 weeks I want one of these of my content to just go out. You can do that now, and you just have to interact and be active. Remember that social selling is about being social. It is as much as having people reaching out to you as as it is as you reaching out to people. Mm. And then the
May I
fourth one, yes, my dear.
May I add something? The using pictures part is very important, especially at Twitter. I think it should be the same for LinkedIn as well. The posts that has pictures are getting more attention of people, and I always put myself in the shoes of other, and I always tell my customers, please think like your consumer. What you want is this, it should be the same about with them. I mean, if you are not a strange person, so I always look to the sentences with the pictures. It can be a very simple picture, doesn't matter. But I mean, I suggest, and you also write it down. It's very important to put a picture or put a video. It's very important. So I just wanted to add that one. And the frequency, for example, from my point of view, I also think that the putting the content and the picture, whatever, on the social media, it is LinkedIn, for example, the time is very important as well. I mean, my target is the people working in Plaza, for example. I put before 9 a.m. or after 6 p.m. because they can have a time to check Instagram as well after these times, or before 9 a.m., after 6:30 p.m. So also frequency is important, and the time that you put your content on social media is very important, because you are giving lots of time, you are spending lots of efforts, you think about the nice content, you find the best picture, but if you don't think about the best time, it's also A/B testing. You should try and try and try. You never know.
It's
Uh,
A/B testing.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes.
I
So
just want to say at
for
that part.
me, it works at lunchtime, Zurich time, lunchtime. That's when
Okay.
I have more views. And yes, as when people is going to work, they take a bus, a train,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they have time to check on their LinkedIn, their Instagram. Yes, absolutely.
By the way, what time? I think we have 2 hours differences. Am I right? Now it's coming to 10 p.m. in Istanbul. What about you in Spain?
It's 7:50 p.m.
Okay, okay,
Two
2 hours. Okay,
hours.
okay, good, good.
So we have 12 minutes. We are
No,
about to finish.
yeah, no
The
problem.
fourth step.
Fine.
So how to create your personal brand? We came to the fourth step, to the most challenging one, is the maintenance. Because
Uh,
as you said, it requires an effort. It requires a commitment. eh? If you have your strategy, you put your strategy together, and you use these tools like buffer.com, you don't need to spend that much time, and but you need to maintain your brand. So Google yourself. Usually is LinkedIn is the first one, the first thing that appears when you Google yourself. So someone is going to Google yourself if you start in a new position. If it was not the the recruiter, it will be your hiring manager. If it's not the hiring manager, it will be a colleague. So have a strong personal brand for that moment. Be consistent, choose your message, and it is a lot about repetition, about repeating your message. Gather feedback. As you said, Murat, it's about A/B testing. Eh?
mm,
Was this good? Is this relevant to my audience?
mhm,
And evolve to stay relevant. Change and stay. So the best brands are very flexible.
mhm.
So the principles: focus, define your relevance, find your niche. The narrower your niche and your brand, the more successful, the easier it will be for people to find you. Mm. Follow successful examples and copy them with your tweet. It doesn't have You don't have to do them exactly, you don't have to behave exactly the same, but you can.
Benchmark,
Yes,
benchmark.
benchmarking. You can get very, very inspired by successful examples. Exactly. And talk about your audience. You were saying you don't need to talk that much about yourself, but find more about your audience and engage with your audience. So who do you want to help? Who do you want to inspire? Who do you want to inform? Who do you want to entertain? So it's good that you understand, that you know them, and that you know your audience.
By the way, there are some comments are coming and questions are coming. Maybe you see on the screen. iTube, he or she said, nowadays supermarkets uses storytelling methods a lot. For instance, selling a meat with no story behind makes no sense. But if you insert a story of farm and farmers, then it makes sense. Everyone should consider themselves as a product and add value continuously and position in the highly competitive market. Branding is your value proportions. And there is a question from We Are True. Uh, Thanks for the questions. He or she asked 3 questions very fast. The first question is, who needs personal branding? Everyone.
Everyone.
Okay. If you are representing a company or a brand, it is not a shortcut. What does it mean? If you are representing a company or a brand, it is not a shortcut? Question
If
mark. I
you
don't
have
understand.
a strong brand, I don't understand 100% the question, but it will only help your employer. It will only help the brander. The
And the last question, what's the relationship between community building and personal branding? Is there a relationship, the personal branding and community building?
Well, it depends on how you explain the community building concept. If it's about networking, it's absolutely related. And yes, you're building your community also with your personal brand, and you have your groups. And
Sure. For example, I am having a Ready for Change. It's a community, and if I and most of the people are didn't come from the advertisements or from the Instagram or whatever. 90% of the people knows me and I know them. So it came to by personal branding. I think there is a highly in terms of that example, there is a correlation between both of them. And Bora asked a question to you. Thanks to him, he is very active tonight. In the digital era, personal branding is an important part of being a digital leader. What do you think? Do you think that digital leaders should spend extra time for personal branding? Do they?
um, I do. They don't have to spend that much more time than the others, but for me it would be, I look at a lot of profiles, and I am very curious always with the digital leaders, with the marketing leaders of the big companies, and I'm always very curious how do they present themselves. And you have great examples of very very strong personal brands, who are digital leaders. Yes.
Okay. Okay. These are the all questions. We can
Excellent.
continue. Yeah, sure.
Yes. Yes. Talk about your audience, know your audience. Why LinkedIn is the number one platform, is the one that we use. Well, it's a professional context versus personal. It's not about friends and family like Facebook. It is about um, professional, and people is more open to react to the content that interests them professionally. Mm. The content is relevant to their business. As we said, people is not so interested in the company pages, and it helps to boost the interest on the company pages. As we said, Virgin Airlines, the company, not so many followers, and this happens with all the companies. If you look at the big companies and you look at their strong personal brands, individual brands, the difference is huge. Mhm. Then targeting and campaigns. So if you become an entrepreneur like Murat and myself, you can have Sales Navigator to target your clients and your message.
Yeah.
So warm leads and personal branding. This means that through LinkedIn, you can check. It is very friendly because you check everyone's profile and they can check your profile. So you come from a closer start. You know each other, you know the connections that you have in common, and it's a different start. It's a warmer start. And
Yeah.
now I'm coming to an end. If we look at the 6 options for your LinkedIn content, this is from uh, less effective to more effective. You first focus on the content of others. That's when you do the 9%. Like,
Mhm.
make a comment, congratulate. You can create content from outside sources. So depending on the media that you read, I like Forbes, for example, and then I have an interesting article that I like. Then I just share
Mhm.
it with everyone else with a comment. Post photographs in a business content. We talked about the pictures. Infographics. People like infographics. They are your original content as well. You can create them yourselves. Create your own content. Is the hardest thing to do, but the most important one. I encourage everyone to create their own content, and then time it and have a strategy. As you said, how many posts do you want to make a decision? Take a decision. How many posts do you want to post per
Or
week, and at what time, what days?
I share 2 per day.
You do 2 per day. Yeah, that's a lot. I know. I've seen you very active. I have a goal of doing 1 per day. I'm doing 3, sometimes 2 not per day, sorry, per week.
Good.
So 1 per day, and I'm doing 3 per week. Eh? The golden ratio is you share 4 pieces of interesting and relevant content to your audience without mentioning yourself or your company at all. 1 piece with your own content, mm, not mentioning your company, but discussing an area of your expertise where you are the expert. And then when you do those 5, then with the 6th one, you can sell yourself directly. It would be a hard sale.
Yep.
And this is about the number of connections. So in LinkedIn, you can have a maximum of 30,000 first connections.
Yes.
And the key is to have your first connections with the maximum number of first connections, and to be very as active as possible. So a lot of connections and very active, so they can help you to distribute your content. And they will probably do the same with you if they see that you are very active. So a person with lots of connections and who is active and engaging with their connections is the rock star of a connection. It's about strong relationships and meaningful conversations.
By the way, Enis is asking a question from LinkedIn.
Yes,
He is watching us. What should be the length of the content? When it is too long, we can miss our audience. It's a nice question.
it's a nice question. So it depends. So in LinkedIn, you have a limitation, a limit number of space
Character.
or words, or if you have something where you feel you really want to write something longer than that and more extensive, then you can write an article. Eh? But what do you think, Murat? I recommend that short content, easy to read.
I started doing. I mean, I think looking at others is very important. It was you mentioned in the in your slide. So I always look my competitors, let's say, the people who work like me, and I was not using emoji at on LinkedIn, but then I saw many people, and there are these people are very serious people, are using these emojis, and it takes my attention, and I found myself reading that sentences, and if I'm interested, I continue. So right now, I am trying to make it as short as possible, but before every sentence, to make it easier to read and understand, I write one sentence and I put a space and write the second one in a meaningful way. But I put emoji, and most of the time I put hearts, red, yellow, blue, and if there's a link or if it's something that we have to keep it in our mind, I put a bell. If I'm putting a YouTube link, I put a TV picture. I take them from WhatsApp. There are not thousands of emojis, but I trying my best, and I saw that it's an A/B testing as well. The ones I have been using with emoji have much more views than without emojis. So I advise to use emojis and of
Yes.
course short ones. Yeah,
Everyone is using more and more, and as you said, senior and serious people, the emojis.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so this is the end
Uh,
of the presentation, it is about building trust. It was about building trust 20 years ago. It is the same now. A/B testing, as you just said, test, change, and repeat. And just work on yourself and your career as a brand, and you will have more opportunities, increase your networking. It will help you with your personal growth, and it will help you with your reputation. Mm. That
yes.
was it from my side.
It's great. Thank you so much for joining us. I think at every webinar, at every talk, I feel myself very well because I am learning new things. Sometimes reputation is also a good thing because sometimes you forget some of the things. And when you hear it from an expert, ah, yes, it was important. Why I am not doing this one? This is also a good one to remind ourselves. So if there are questions, my friends, you can ask. By the way, you are asking how we are going to spend 1 hour, and I said to you, 60 minutes is nothing, and it will pass away. So
It
it's,
went very fast.
yeah,
Yes,
it's always the same.
indeed.
It's always the same. By the way, the people, I would like to show your web page. It's very nice, and yes, this is your web page. I think
Yes, thank
you
you.
see it. And if they can see on the tab on the screen, virginiamolet.com, your name and surname, and they can check about yourself, about your programs and your coaching model. But if they want to contact, I think they can click on this one. Am I right?
Yes, they can click on that, and they
Yeah.
can. I have also a WhatsApp button, and I will receive a WhatsApp immediately, and I will answer to everyone who writes me directly. It will be my pleasure.
Ah, good. So, my friends, if you want to get a free consultation at first, please contact with her. There is also contact here. I didn't see the WhatsApp, but I think there should be somewhere else. So
Yeah.
they can contact with you. Let's talk. Is it? I think this
Yes.
one. Okay. Anyway, so they can contact with you easily from these steps. So I think we talk a lot about that, lots of things, but there are some comments. iTube says, thanks a lot, very much appreciated to all contributors. Enis Baş MS as asking, do you share the presentation? Do you, or do you put it?
Eh, I can send a summary.
Okay, sure. Or they can watch this video will be on this screen. I mean,
Yeah, recorded.
it will be active, so they can watch it again and again. And my Jem, thanks to Jem, he is a old friend from school years, university years. Thanks so much, guys. And let's end with another question. Bora, he asked, will the dynamics of the personal branding change in the future? Will our children do the same things? What do you think?
I think we saw that um, personal brands will continue exist, but it will change. The dynamics for sure will change. So we would never think in doing a TV commercial nowadays as your first marketing activity. So it will change,
It will change. Yeah, I mean, everything is changing. And
of
of course,
course.
the way we express ourselves are going to change. For example, my son, who is 6 years old, he started his primary school online. So
Mm,
the age I met with computer was 20s, and he
mm,
met with a computer. I mean,
mm,
4 or 3 years old with YouTube, and now he is learning. He is getting online courses
mm.
for primary school at the age of 6. So I think lots of things are going to change, but I think only one thing will remain the same: trust. I guess
Yes.
trust will be the
It's
same.
about earning the trust of the others. So
Yeah.
because if they know you and you know them and you are part of their lives, whenever you need something from them, they will be more open to help you. And the
and
same, the other way around.
and iTube answered the questions of Bora. Bora Bey, Mr. Bora. They will have a Coke and chips and just connect it to the mobile. Uh, and dear Ruhi Balji is sending his warmest regards from Miami and with a great view to ocean, I guess. And he says, thank you, Murat and Mrs. Molet. Thanks, Ruhi,
Thank
watching us.
you. Thank you.
Uh, Anything you would like to add before you leave?
No, just thank you again for inviting me. It was a
Yeah,
lot of
sure.
fun. I love the discussion, and I
Yeah.
hope to. I wish you a lot of success with the program.
Thank you so much. And we are sending our warmest regards to Spain and Zurich. Have a nice day. Ciao,
Thank
ciao.
you. You too. Bye bye.
Yes, yes, my friends, we are going to continue. Don't leave us. I have a good offer to you at the end. Please just stay with us for 2 minutes. See you. Yes, before I finish the program, I just wanted to thank to Virginia Molet. She was our guest, and she was very busy because she is traveling from Zurich to Spain, Spain to Zurich. She's an executive coach. She has many customers, and thanks to her, she made a great presentation and shared her experiences with us. And thanks for my ex general manager, dear Gökhan Özkan. He connected us, me and Virginia. So if you are watching us at the moment, thank you so much, Gökhan. Before I finish, I was showing something. Let me bring it again. I don't know whether you understood us well or not. I'm not the expert in English. I'm a Turkish guy. I went to college, and after I finished college, I went to university, and I worked in more than 12 years in foreign companies out of 20 years. So, these English or other languages, if you don't speak, you can easily forget. So I did my best. If I did some mistakes, sorry for that. But I have a good offer to you. If you are interested on improving your language, your English, please, I have a great offer for you. If you want to learn about this offer, please send me an email to, you will see my email, bilgi@muraterdor.com. Please send me an email and I will send a great offer with a great discount, which will help you in practicing your English. It's a friendly advice to you. And I would like to give our warmest regards to Virginia. Thanks to her. And of course, I would like to thank you. I don't know where you are watching us. I think some guys are in Miami, in Ankara, Istanbul. I don't know. But it is very important for us watching us, giving some comments, asking some questions. Because as I told you, if it's one people or 100 people, doesn't matter. It's always important. But the engagement is the most important thing. And if when we feel that we are not alone, it's very important. We feel very positive. So thanks for joining us, spending your time. It was the first program of Hello. I have never seen a guy or a lady doing a English program in Turkey on live stream on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Periscope, and and Twitch at the same time. I think it's the first time who did it at the same time. So I request one thing from you. We are having very hard days, difficult days, and because of the COVID-19. So tomorrow, when you go out, please say hello to at least 5 people you never know and smile. I know that they won't see that you are smiling because you are wearing a mask, but we have to share this positive attitude to everyone. That's very important. So please say hello. And three things. Please wash your hands, wear your mask, and practice social distancing. I'm doing this program. It's hello from Istanbul, the best city in the world. Believe me. And the heart of the Istanbul, Beşiktaş, Balmumcu. So it is coming to 9 p.m. It's bedtime for my son Kemal. So I have to take him to bed and tell him a story, a storytelling. We talk about storytelling, so I have to tell him a story because if not, he won't go to bed. So have fun and see you in the next Hello program. Thank you. Bye bye.